Alrighty guys, welcome back to the channel. If you had seen, I'll put a link up at the top on Christmas. My brother bought me one of these Southern Pacific. They're one of these K-line extruded aluminum Southern Pacific 4-bay hoppers. And it's an absolutely beautiful car. Got it at Uncle Ray's Trains in Sheffield Lake, Ohio. If you're ever up that way, stop in, say hi to Dave. Really good dude. Have some stuff on order there and buy a lot of stuff from them. Really good people. You know, just small family-owned store. And actually like these things so much that he had an additional matching pair with unique road numbers. So have all three of them, and just decided to put a very light weathering on the three of them. Not going to do anything over the top. I think they're beautiful cars. I typically like to leave one kind of very lightly weathered, one kind of medium, and one pretty heavy, graffiti, stuff like that. But I think with these ones, I'm just going to go nice and easy. Not going to go over the top on them at all. Just very light, kind of like they're going to be in grain service. So all I'm going to do, I'm just going to really quick show you. We're going to go start to finish on this one, and we'll keep it short and sweet. So I've already got the other two, the first kind of layer done on the other two. All I've done here in the airbrush, I'm just using acrylics right now. We gave everything just kind of a light wipe down, but these were new right out of the box. So nothing crazy going on. All I'm going to do is put a little dust, kind of represent like grain dust around the hatches, and then a little bit of streaking down the sides, color the trucks up, put a little bit of dust and dirt kick up on the bottom, and we're going to call it a day. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Hopefully that you guys will like the finished product here. So all I'm using right now is some really cheap apple barrel acrylics that you can get at Walmart. I'm not sure where else they sell them, but I've got just about a 50-50 mix of brown oxide and burnt umber right now, and that's thinned about another 50% down just with regular tap water. And I went about 2/3 of the way up in the cup, and that's going to be enough to do all three of these cars at basically the first dirt layer. All right, let's go ahead and get it finished up. guys. I've got that one that we just painted. I just dull coated it with my favorite Tester's dull coat. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to move on to just a very light layer. I just want to represent some really light initial fading. We got the dirt down. I'm just going to put a couple spots, a couple highlights on top of the car with, you know, just something to kind of represent some sun bleaching. Just going to be real subtle, and it's going to be on the corners and edges. For the most part, might not even know it's there unless I tell you that it's there. That's kind of the whole point. I want everything to be very subtle on these. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this magenta, some of this light magenta. Again, it's apple barrel. It's called bright magenta. And I'm going to put one drop of that into, probably going to do about 3 drops of white. And then I'll thin that down 50% with water. And that should be a really nice sort of almost like a pinkish fade. And it's going to be applied very, very lightly. But this stuff goes a long way. This white, gosh, I've had that white for a year and it feels like I haven't even scratched the surface on it. I'm going to make this, this is going to be a very, very watery. I gotta be careful that it's not too watery because I don't want it to run. I'm not so worried about the dirt running because it's the first layer and it's gonna get covered up. I don't know if you guys can see this or not in the camera, but basically this is kind of starting to look like some strawberry quick. Just a really light, almost kind of strawberry-like color. Almost like a Pepto-Bismol almost. So didn't want to go with straight white. I mean, straight white's great for fading, but I want to just put this on nice and light to kind of represent that sun fade. Okay, I'm gonna grab one of these and get going. Okay, folks, really liked, actually what I did, before I cleaned out my airbrush, I was looking at these things and I still felt like they were a little too vibrant. So I went back and I actually sprayed in vertical passes the entire car body and really just kind of took some of that pop, that new, fresh out of the shop pop off of it with that magenta fade mixture that I made. One part of the magenta to 3 parts white, and then faded the whole thing down halfway, 50% with water. All I'm gonna do now, these are pretty much looking exactly like I want them. I don't want them to look like they're trashed. I just want them to look like they've been out on the road a little bit. I'm just gonna come across, I've got some light grays and some brown shades here. I'm just gonna make a couple little marks around the hatches with some of the powders. And you know, I'm not gonna get really aggressive with the powder. This stuff is gonna really dissipate it. I'll hit everything one last time with Tester's dull coat. And what usually happens when you do that, when you're using powders, is you're gonna lose the majority of your powder effect. I have way too much powder on this brush. I'm trying not to do anything too overtly aggressive. So we'll just get rid of that. All I want to do is get some dust, and you know, again, representing some grain dust and stuff around the hatches. in somewhat uniform fashion. And we'll bring a little bit of this onto the sides too. I don't know if I'm gonna use much, if any, browns on the actual car body, but we'll see. We'll just keep a look and we'll just blend this all out. It should look pretty darn nice when we're done. All right, let's get all three of them done. So here's the finished product, guys. Turned out exactly the way I had hoped. The other two are dry and they look much the same. I'm actually gonna just give you a quick before and after that final coat of dull coat on one of the cars. I think it's number 60 that's drying right now. So you can see how much of an effect how much less dramatic the powders are after you hit them with the dull coat. But this turned out just like I had hoped. It's, you know, it doesn't have that boom, that brand new car pop to it anymore, but it doesn't look like it's been on the rails for 25 years and, you know, needs to be put out to the pasture or completely reconditioned by a leasing company. This one, of the three, the trucks are definitely the loosest on this one. So I'll probably unscrew this one after I get finished with the video and tighten these trucks down. They're a little too tight. Hey, something else I did today. We actually, I actually was gonna go up to the layout. Yeah, and my layout's a couple hours away from where I live, which isn't the most ideal scenario in the world, but you know, you make do. You make do with what you got to work with. But we kind of had some snowfall that, while it was expected, it ended up being quite a bit more than what I anticipated. When the weatherman says 1 to 3 inches, I expect half an inch, and boy, we got that 3 inches before 10 a.m. So I actually started my day off. I've got this Atlas Master SD40 on the Operation LifeSaver 6002 Illinois Central. So what I actually did, I went on railroadpicturearchives.net and just kind of looked up, and you know, this thing Illinois Central never really let it get very crusty. So I actually decided to weather it and, you know, just really kind of put some not washes. This is completely airbrush. There's no powders, there's no washes or anything. I suppose I could have gone back with a pin wash and maybe got some grime, some brownish grime into some of the you know, handles and crevices and stuff. But really, I didn't want to make this one look too roughed up. You know, all the pictures on railroadarchives.net really showed this one being in pretty darn good shape. So you know, this one came to me with a couple cosmetic issues. The sound doesn't work on this one, and I do have it up for sale, but I think I'm gonna hang on to it. I've got the sister locomotive to this one. It's an MTH PS3 SD40-2. Can't run them in consist, but I can certainly have them on the layout together. Pretty cool. And I got some Canadian National stuff, which this would go really well with. So it's missing, came to me without the, I just realized, doesn't have the brake cylinders or the brake line. So I'll get that. I'll get that from Atlas. But yeah, really cool model. Thing is, I think it's beautiful. I think it's a great looking engine. It might be the Atlas Master SD40s might be one of the, man, they might be one of the best looking locomotives there is in O scale, to be frank. And this thing, I think, was made in 04 or 05. So really happy with the way that looks. But yeah, man, I'll get a final shot of all three of them together Appreciate everybody coming in, watching the video, and seeing what's up. I can't wait to get back up to the layout here, hopefully within the next week. Give you guys a little bit of update. My brother's been working on something really cool that I want to get on the channel for you guys to see. Alrighty, well, hey, any questions, comments, positive or likewise, feel free to drop me a comment. Happy to interact with you guys. Really appreciate all the support. You guys are all so great. Hey, thanks for joining us here at the Lake Erie Midwestern, and happy railroading.